Story 1. Statistically, there is an almost certain chance that life forms exist outside our solar system, maybe even within our own galaxy. But will we ever come into contact with complex life forms during the span of humanity? That's hard to say. The likelihood of a nearby enough alien life form existing at the same moment in time as us is low. Story 2. They're likely not what we are imagining them to be. Look at the diverse life on Earth. Humans, trees, spiders, jellyfish, platypuses. Fungus is pretty weird. I do not think they would be humanoid or intelligent, but probably some weird thing. I am sure they exist since the universe is a pretty big place. I just do not think they would be zooming around in technologically advanced spacecraft. Story 3. In my opinion, there has to be aliens somewhere out there. I don't think there's life forms within our solar system, but definitely in our own galaxy. I also think that we will never make contact with aliens. Story 4. They are still mysterious to me, as no one really knows what an alien truly looks like or what their true form and nature are. I really want to see one too. Haha. Story 5. I think they are out there and they look down on us because of our violent nature. I think unidentified flying objects and other weird phenomena are the equivalent to us playing with a cat and a laser pointer. Story 6. Extrasolar living beings on Earth. Highly unlikely to the point where I would wager it wasn't so. Non-Earth-based life forms in our solar system? A reasonable guess, but no evidence yet. There are enough missions to try to find out in the next couple of decades, in the most likely spots. Living beings in a different system? Given the sheer numbers involved, I'd say it is likely. Intelligent, technologically advanced beings in a different system? Who knows, one of the solutions to the Fermi paradox might be right, or we've just not advanced enough to detect them from far away. Story 7. Do I believe in multicellular life on other planets and galaxies? Yes, I do. Do I believe in little green men who are flying around in spaceships and sticking probes in the rear of people in America? No. It's naive to think we're the only life form in space. Story 8. Man, if they are real and have been hanging around, they just need to poop or get off the pot. Stop convincing Earth's craziest citizens that you exist and start appealing to the average human. I mean, Jesus, the joke was only funny for the last 30 years. Story 9. Some sort of primitive life is probably not that rare. Maybe one star in about 20 has a planet with some kind of life. The best bet is with stars similar to the Sun, such as Alpha Centauri A and Eta Cassiopeiae, as they are bright enough to have a wide habitable zone, and planets there don't have to be tidally locked, while also living long enough for advanced life to evolve. But the probability for an advanced civilization capable of interstellar communication that happens to exist at our time is very small. The closest one could be thousands of light years away. To set that in perspective, Eta Cassiopeiae is as bright as the Sun and located just 20 light years away. And at that distance, it's only visible to the naked eye under great conditions. It's the sixth brightest star in the Cassiopeia constellation, the one in which 5 bright stars form a W. But yes, it would be awesome if there's a civilization there. It might be the only star visible to the naked eye where I live that has a decent chance to host advanced life. Story 10. I don't believe in aliens visiting our planet for one simple reason. I would imagine something so serious would be shared with the presidents. If Trump had knowledge about aliens, he would tell people just to stir up problems and cause chaos. Story 11. I believe life exists in many places in the universe too far away for us to detect. I don't think that intelligent life exists in most of those places. Humans are massively inefficient. Our brains use up 20% of the energy we consume, and we have a bad habit of massively disrupting our environment. I'm not sure those adaptations are sustainable in most environments long term. Story 12. I've personally seen some things in my life that make me believe they are out there. Add to that the innumerable amount of personal testimonies from humanity over the past 100 years or more, and insiders within the government now coming forward to say that there have been vast cover-ups. They are undoubtedly out there. The thing is, even if out of 100,000 sightings only 10 are true, then it means somehow the laws of physics allow aliens to travel from another star system to ours. That means, statistically, there is so much life elsewhere in the universe that we cannot even comprehend the quantity. Because if they are traveling here to our planet, then it means statistically there are aliens everywhere traveling to lots of different planets. So I would say, based on the information the general public is allowed to know, they have visited us. And if one species has visited us, then chances are other species have as well. I believe that the universe is actually teeming with life. The reason why it is not readily apparent is probably a combination of humanity's way of seeing, combined with aliens mostly avoiding contact with us because why would you bother? We are mostly still pretty savage. I mean, we are learning about the universe by seeing the wobbling light of stars and by listening for radio signals. Do you seriously believe that aliens capable of interstellar travel are using radio? They are probably using some means of communication we cannot even comprehend. Story 13. I was abducted 3 times between 2018 and 2019. The first time, I thought it was a dream. The second time, I was clearly awake and I saw the aliens, and I could hear them, but they had no mouth. The third time was very frightening. I say this with all the seriousness in the world. I woke up in a green metallic circular room with beds. I was naked and bound to a gurney. To my left was a man probably in his mid-30s to mid-40s. He was about 6 feet tall and had a fit body, but not a muscular one. He had reddish-brown hair. He was also naked. To my right was an old woman, possibly in her late 60s, also naked. She had white hair. I noticed even though I was tied down, we had gravity, so I was obviously on Earth. The man woke up and started panicking. I told him to calm down before they came in, and he was yelling for help. Then they came in and he panicked more. They untied him and he got up and pushed one of the aliens. They sedated him and rolled me out of the room. They then took my arm and cut it open. My veins and nerves were held on hooks while they experimented on me. Felt like hours. They wouldn't answer me no matter how many questions I asked, no matter how much I pleaded. When it was over, they brought me back home, and my arm was in constant pain for about 2 years. Even now, I get random pains where they cut it, but I have no scar. I have post-traumatic stress disorder from this. Never had it before. The worst part was that when I was telling my family, they didn't believe me. In 2020, the United States Navy confirmed some strange alien-like technology bothering them. I do not expect a single person to believe me, but I am writing this publicly because I want to know who that man was. I want him to know I was there and he wasn't dreaming. Story 14. I am sure they exist, but I am also sure we will never meet. I mean, let's assume we catch a signal from them and we localize it. We can determine, if they still exist, how many years roughly they must be ahead in development. They must have been sending those signals already for ages because we have been sending them for like 100 to 120 years, maybe. They have reached comparably far already, and we know that within this range there is nobody. Story 15. I'm not sure opinion is the right word. Conviction is probably better. Statistically, it's pretty much impossible we're the only sentient beings in the universe. But it's also extremely unlikely we would ever be able to casually interact with each other. Story 16. There will be a significant spectrum of deviations among alien races. There may even be alien civilizations where the majority of members have Asperger's brains. Story 17. Given the size and age of the universe, the number of galaxies, the number of stars in each galaxy, and planets around stars on average, it seems wildly improbable we're the only planet with life. I believe life is probably very common. Some fraction would develop intelligent life. I'd be shocked if there isn't a vast number of intelligent species in the universe. Some significantly more so than us seems fairly likely to me. But the scale involved makes it unlikely we're being visited. There's never been any solid evidence of that. Lots of sightings that haven't conclusively been proven to be anything else, but that's not evidence of alien visitations. Story 18. The Fermi paradox says they should be everywhere, yet science has no evidence. However, unidentified flying objects that defy physics are a real thing admitted by the United States government, and one of the few possible explanations is alien technology. The mere fact that we already exist at all logically means it's not that far-fetched for aliens to exist. As for the vast distances they would need to travel, some say it's impossible, but they can't know. There's a lot we don't understand about the universe yet. Plus, there is a plethora of people claiming they were abducted by aliens. People who have nothing to gain and a lot to lose, like their reputation and jobs. Cases like Travis Walton, the Pascagoula abduction, Betty and Barney Hill, and the Ariel School incident, to name a few. I think aliens exist, and they even keep bases here on Earth. We don't know what's under the ocean. They watch us like we watch the Sentinelese. It's like Star Trek. They don't interfere and just study us. They keep secret until we discover faster-than-light travel or zero-point energy or cross some threshold. I think it's arrogant to say we are the only ones who exist in such a mind-boggling, massive universe full of planets capable of supporting life. Story 19. They probably exist and are probably living outside our visible universe, so we will never know. Or, they're like dinosaur species on a lush planet somewhere to be discovered. Or, they've gone extinct long before we appeared on Earth. Even if they exist or not, both scenarios are terrifying. What if there is a species that is also looking for other life and we become ants to them? They are so powerful and advanced that there's nothing we can do but accept our fate. Maybe it's a good idea to keep quiet and not try to make contact. Story 20. Statistically, the universe is too big for us to be the only ones here. But if aliens are smart enough to avoid us, I kind of respect that. They have probably seen our reality TV and thought, no, we are good. Story 21. So advanced that even if they were here, we would not be able to comprehend their reality, let alone communicate with them. It would be like an ant trying to communicate with the soul of a human boot. Story 22. I was fascinated with them as a kid, but less so nowadays. I love Star Wars, Spore, and those UFO or alien sighting videos on the internet. Never really believed the alien sighting stuff, but I believe they must be out there somewhere. Story 23. They almost certainly exist somewhere out there, even if only in a different galaxy. They are just very likely also somewhere far away from us and do not necessarily have advanced enough technology or compatible enough technology to locate us and communicate with us. Story 24. They are a mess. Since Earth is well known as the most chaotic planet in this whole galaxy, it attracts all the riffraff even from neighboring galaxies. Traffic became crazy in space near Earth. Many years ago, I built a little weekend home on the far side of the moon to have a quiet retreat. The far side of the moon used to be very quiet if you kept your distance from the Nazi moon base, but now they are more or less constantly hovering through my front yard. And don't get me started about the trip to the moon with this crazy traffic. Story 25. Whoever posted this question should capitalize the word aliens. Otherwise, it sounds like you're asking what our opinion of aliens is, and of course, we've never met one. Story 26. I believe they are more likely to be interterrestrial than extraterrestrial, meaning they live somewhere in the Earth, just don't know where. Best guess? Ocean. Story 27. So you are telling me that out of all the planets in this vast universe, even the ones we do not know of, life only exists on one small planet? Yes, no, aliens definitely exist. Story 28. The likelihood they are out there somewhere is as good as 100%. The question is if it is physically possible to ever meet. If it is indeed possible to develop interstellar or intergalactic travel technology, I suspect they are already here or at least have been. If not, we are as good as alone. Story 29. I'm going to say that alien life definitely exists. The universe is too big for that. I'd say it's even likely that there's life somewhere else in the galaxy. But do I think alien life has visited Earth while humans were here? No, not likely. I'm not going to say there definitely haven't been aliens here, but I think it's extremely unlikely. Story 30. Well, they say that the chances for life to develop on a planet were 1 to infinity, which is us, so I don't think there is another life form in the universe. Story 31. They probably exist out there somewhere because it's highly unlikely that they wouldn't. In a universe of infinite star systems and infinite planets, even the smallest chances become near certainties. It is highly likely that we'll never meet them or communicate with them or even know that they exist unless we manage to cheat the speed of light. Story 32. You know the rare Earth theory? I go to an extreme and believe that, of all possibilities, there may be only a handful of civilizations like ours out there, and the rest either haven't evolved to our level of intelligence. There may only be one or two civilizations out there that are high-tech like in the movies, and they are more than likely uninterested in our planet either because we have nothing of value to them or we are too primitive to approach as of yet. Story 33. They exist. We cannot be the universe's only life form. They have the privilege of migrating to the United States through the correct channels. They should not be kept in cages and separated from their children at the border. We are all aliens. Story 34. Is there life out there in the vast cosmos? Yes, almost a certainty. Is that life visiting us in magic flying craft that can only be seen by conspiracy theorists and shaky photographers? No. Story 35. We think of aliens as biological, but any species capable of intergalactic space travel has reached the point in their civilization where they have fully adopted artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, and so on, so they would be merged with machines. Story 36. I believe other life exists somewhere, but it is so far out that it is not feasible to make contact. The light-year distance alone makes it next to impossible to even detect each other.